Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah, the Blind Sea Apostle GMS. This is Nawa Allah coming at you with the video. And in this video, I want to focus on the topic of, eye service and men pleasing. Get a couple scriptures on that because, and it's true, you're not supposed to be, men pleasers. You don't want to be a men pleaser in general. You know what I'm saying? A man pleaser is a person that's trying to please men, doing things to receive, credit from men, to receive honor from men, reverence from men. And eye service is ultimately the same thing, but it's doing something for the service of a person's eyes. In other words, doing something only when that person in that person's sight, and being that way, it's not how you want to be. It's not genuine. It's not honest. It's not true. So let's get some scriptures on that. This is the book of Ephesians. I'm gonna start from verse 5, but the point is in verse 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear, trembling, and singleness of heart, as unto Yahweh Shah, as unto the Messiah, the anointed. And not with eye service, as men pleasers, right? Because that's what men pleasers do. They do things for eye service. But as the servants of Yahweh Shah, doing the will of the Most High from the heart. So you're supposed to do the will of the Most High from the heart. When you how you are when you're not around brothers is how you really are. How you are when you're not around the campus, who you really are. You know what I'm saying? And you want to be that way all the time. You're not supposed to, be a certain way around a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Be a certain way when you're at the camp. But out there in the world, you going to hell off. You being a nigga. You know what I'm saying? With goodwill doing service as to the Lord and not to men. So ultimately what we're doing is to Yahweh Shemel Shah. It's not to men. You know what I'm saying? We do things according to the scriptures. That's how we're supposed to do things. We're supposed to do what the scriptures say, not what man say. And at the same time, don't think you know more than what that man is saying, because he may know more of the scriptures than you. So you think, oh, he's just saying that, but really that's in the scriptures what he's saying. Now that shows you that, if you got that mentality, then you ain't in the scriptures like you're supposed to be in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You may know breakdowns, you may have been in the camp a couple years, but that don't mean you got experience and everything in life. You may have more life experience than a brother outside the truth, but you're younger than him in the faith. So yeah, you may be 17 years, maybe 25 years older than him, but you're in the truth 6 years. That brother in the truth 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too big for your britches, man. You know what I'm saying? That's in the right there, that verse. Continuing on. This is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. So they obeyed what the Apostle Paul told them, not in his presence only, but now much more in his absence. See? Much more in his absence, because he's not present, so now you got to go even harder. He's not there in the presence, in the present. So guess what? You don't got him there to just correct you, to answer all your questions. So guess what? You got to obey more in his absence. Just like you hear these stories about Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson in the club years ago, and when they was leaving the club, AI was going to another club. AI said, you know where Kobe went? He went to the gym. Who he was on the basketball court, he was actually playing in a regulation game. That's who he was outside off the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? So it says, wherefore my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but not much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So you got to work out your own salvation. That's the Apostle Paul telling him, with fear and trembling. So you got to do it in his absence. Okay? So now what he's doing is he's putting a greater form of responsibility and accountability on them to act according to the scriptures, to act according to how they've been taught. You know, you got a lot of guys out there that don't do that. They come out camp teaching them when they out there in the world, even if they're hanging around brothers that may be doing worldly stuff. You know what I'm saying? That bro's no yellow. You know? Yeah, we went off on that, but let's keep that between us. You know, we wasn't supposed to do that though. I was mad off. Nah, most I see that. And then you come to camp like you righteous. You know what I'm saying? For it is the Most High which worketh in you to both to will and to do of his good pleasure. So it's the Most High that worketh in us for that. To have the will and to do his good pleasure. His good pleasure. Alright? And guess what? You're supposed to be pleased with that. This is Sirach 23:18. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh Shemel Shah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. The eyes of the Lord are his angels, and they're 10,000 times brighter than the sun. The sun's light shine, they can cover a vast area. But the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. In other words, they can see places where the sun can't reach. In other words, in your most hidden parts, in your spirit, in your mind. When other people aren't around, other people can't see. The angels of the Lord see. And obviously the Most High does. The Most High knows. Guess what that means? You gotta relive this thing. You really not hiding from nobody. You can hide from men, but you can't hide from your Yahweh Shemel Shah. And that's something that people forget. You know? You never know how the Most High could judge you, man. You never know how the Most High could judge you, man. You never know. You're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. The Most High could reveal you in front of the whole congregation. You know what I'm saying? Or judge you on some man in your personal life and open up your mind for you to know the reason why it was done. Alright? And knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, behold all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. See? They behold all the ways of men, all your actions, all your goings, and they're considering the most secret parts. What's your most secret parts is what? Your thoughts. Things that you're doing in secret. They consider that, they see that. So you can be a men pleaser all you want. You can do things for eyeservice all you want. Most High Yahweh Shemel Shah, he sees all of that. You can't hide from the Lord, man. I'm telling you now. You can't hide from him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be in the spirit to fight the flesh. To fight what the flesh wants to do. The flesh don't want to do what's right. And just because we're in the flesh, sometimes the flesh is gonna, overpower your spirit. That don't give you the right to be willfully ignorant and go off. Hey, well, we ain't perfect. And then you just do something you ain't got no business doing. Hey, well, the Most High basically control everything, so it don't really matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? That kind of mentality. You got ignorant people that think like that. Galatians 1:10. For do I not persuade men of the Most High? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of the Most High. So Paul is asking the question, am I trying to persuade men of the Most High? Do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of the Most High. So guess what? The Apostle Paul is not trying to be a man pleaser, because if you're a man pleaser, you ain't serving the Most High. You're supposed to serve Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. Now, of course, you're supposed to do what the Man, so if you say, no, you know what I'm saying, nobody that's above you that's righteous is going to tell you to do something that's not according to the scriptures. Okay? But that's pleasing the Most High. You know what I'm saying? If it's done in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? A man pleaser is doing things to please men and not seeking uh, favor in the Lord, but seeking favor from men. And the Most High set up order. So, guess what? Part of that order that the Most High set up, He set up righteous men over others. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, this brother here, let me do this righteous thing because he's looking. All right, good, he going now. Let me just go back to being going off. Nah, ain't supposed to do that. Okay? Because then you ain't serving your Yahweh Shema Shah. 1 Thessalonians 2 and 1. If this don't come up, okay. 1 Thessalonians 2. What's going on? 1 Thessalonians 2 and 4. But even after that, we had suffered before, and was I'm sorry, but as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High was tried our hearts. So we seek to please Yahweh Shema Shah. The thing we do is to please Yahweh Shema Shah, man. And the Most High wants us to do what's right according to the scriptures, whether someone's around, present, watching, or not. So we just gotta take heed. So with that, I'm gonna close and say, "Oh, praise to Yahweh Shema Shah." Double honor to Apostle GMS. Oh, brother, learn something. Shalom.